right, Doug Spears and the Cracker Collective. Thank you.
Just a few more announcements and 2 more raffles. No. Here we go. Ready? Well, there's places that I've been to, there are things that I have done, the stories I remember, and tales that I have spun. I've set sail to catch a fair wind, and never races I have run. I've seen the full moon rising while I watch the setting sun. Now there are things that I have made, and there are things that I have lost. There's lessons that I've learned, and there are those that I've forgot. These eyes can see the wonder, but they've also cried the tears. They see the changes coming as they watch time. I can't be saved, and it can't be borrowed. Yesterday came so quickly, and then suddenly it was gone. Seems like today was just tomorrow. If I'm lucky, I might leave my account here overdrawn. Now there are people I have loved, there are people I have used. There's folks that I've been kind to, and friendships I've abused. I've done some things I'm proud of, and some things that cause me shame. But I've learned to own it all, take from the credit and the blame. I can't be saved, and it can't be borrowed. Yesterday came so quickly, and then suddenly was gone. Seems like today was just tomorrow. If I'm lucky, I might leave my account here overdrawn. Now I made a home in sunshine, made a home in mountain rain. I've laughed through joyous times, and I've suffered through pain. Well, I've raised myself some children, 2 daughters and a son. But to share a secret with you, friend, it's much more fun. I can't be saved, and it can't be borrowed. Yesterday came so quickly, and then suddenly was gone. Seems like the day was just tomorrow. If I'm lucky, I might leave my account here overdrawn. If we're lucky, we might all leave our accounts here overdrawn. Thank you. Did we get the mic worked out? Have we got that? Is it still jumping in and out? So it's got to be something with our system, because I have had none of this trouble.
Huh,
Is it
that's
still
interesting.
doing that right now? Coming in and out?
Is there a date on it?
What's that?
Is there a date on it?
Check. That's a little better right there, but it's still jumping.
Battery?
No, that's not batteries. I should have just changed those. We'll just kind of work with it. You'll hear me sometimes, and sometimes you won't. That can be good or bad, depending on how you're feeling about how it's going on. Yeah, just kind of 50-50. It's like another raffle. It's a 50-50 raffle on the voice. I spent the last couple of weeks, last couple of days in particular, running up and down I-95 and the Turnpike. I'm not fond of that. I don't like those places. And that's not the song we're getting ready to play. But we're all native Floridians save one. Lon over here is actually a transplant. He came here when he was about 10 from California. But I say he's probably more cracker than any of the rest of us. Most of us were born here, BD. That means before Disney. So it was a much different state back then. It was a state more like this song here. This is called State of Dreams. The Swanee lying bright and black by the light of a wintry moon. When you see the sun rise out across Main Prairie with the bluebells and the rose, when you smell the orange blossom in the springtime, you know that the honey crop's gonna taste so good. Just when you know that you're living in a land of sunshine and a state of dreams. Lined up in rows as far as the eye can see. When the strawberry farms down around Plant City, growing thick and green, they're catching the bass out on the tree. And redfish and the golf around Cedar Just when you know that you're living in a land of sunshine, state of dreams. Way down upon the Swanee River, lives never that far away. That's where my cracker heart will live forever. On my tomorrow, I guess today. Little bits and the cracker cow echo out in the scrub. When that hot sand soil down beneath your feet, the sun's riding through your blood. See those sun clouds that roll, and the wind in the Spanish marshes feels so good. You know that you're living in a land of sunshine and a state of dreams. Was it my imagination, or did the problem go away in the middle of that song? We have identified the issue, and it is us. I was born in Lake County, Florida. What's that? Nope. I was born in Lake County, Florida. Again, BD, back before Disney. Little bitty place. You know, Lake County, Leesburg was a tiny little town. Heck, if we wanted to go shopping, we didn't go to Orlando. They didn't have nothing. We went to Ocala. That was the big city back then. Orlando wasn't anything yet. We would come into town from the farm out west of Leesburg on Fort 44, which would turn into Main Street. Main Street ran right straight down the middle of town, past the courthouse, down to the two-theater movie theater that we had. But before you got to the courthouse, you would pass Harry Doris's Gulf Oil Station on the right. Harry was a friend of my grandfather's. Harry always had 3 or 4 old slack-back or rocking chairs sitting out front. 3 or 4 old guys sitting in them, chewing things, and drinking things, telling lies of whatever variety. And of course, as you passed, you'd wave, and they'd wave back. It's just what you did. I now have a warm weather home in north central West Virginia. A little bitty town called Parsons. If you look on the back of a bag of Chingsford charcoal, it very likely says Parsons, West Virginia, because Kingsford employs everybody there. They're the employer. Well, Parsons has 1,800 people. It's in a huge county. I mean, land size bigger than Orange and Osceola put together, but only 5,000 people in the entire county. In fact, Parsons is the home of one of only 2 stoplights in the entire county. We're talking little. I was coming into town from Elkins, and I got right to the traffic light. I turned right on First Street. There's the courthouse right there on the left. And on the right, there's a 4-unit rooming house. There's 3 or 4 old slack-back chairs, rocking chairs sitting out front. 3 or 4 old guys sitting in them. They were chewing things and drinking things, telling lies. And of course, I waved, and they waved back. And I decided, you know, it must just be a small town thing. Well, there's old men sitting in their rocking chairs, and they're waving at the folks as they pass by the courthouse square. And there's kids on bikes in town to buy ice cream. The money they earned after school, oh, it's a small town thing. Locks on doors round here, they seldom use. The boys down at the hardware store, they got all the local news. Some folks plant a garden here every spring. They give away most all they grow. Oh, it's a small town thing. Nothing much ever changes in a small town. Coming back, it always feels like home. Dogwood blooms and buttercups, knee-high grape and pickup trucks, the easy rhythm of a front porch swing. Oh, it's a small town thing. These small town things catch me when I fall, reminding me that life is how you live it after all. Lightning bugs call jars, sitting round an open fire at night under the stars. Sunday choir is where we learn to sing, and how to lend a helping hand. Oh, it's a small town thing, nothing much ever changes in a small town. Coming back, it always feels like home. Dogwood blooms and buttercups, knee-high grapes and pickup trucks, the easy rhythm of the front porch swing. Oh, it's a small town thing. It's a small town thing. Thank you. As I started to say, out of order, that was my daughter and my oldest grandson going out the back door there. They have to go to a wedding. And Lord knows we don't want to wait for that. As I was saying, I spent the last couple of days, really the last couple of weeks, because I've been doing a lot of shows all over Florida. I'm too old for this. I'm driving too much. But I'm spending a lot of time on the interstates, and I hate it. These guys have gotten aggressive. I mean, you've got to be on your toes to keep from getting run over by somebody out there or getting just yanked out of your car and killed. When I was spending a lot of time traveling around the country, I would try to spend as much time as I could off of those interstates and take the little backward roads as much as I could. Not only was the traffic better, but it was just a prettier drive and much more, a little more relaxed. I talk to people all the time that have gone and taken these relaxation seminars, seminars to help you get centered and help you, reduce your stress. And invariably, part of that seminar is that you sit in some terribly uncomfortable position and try to breathe in deeply and breathe out. And then visualize your happy place. Now, for some people, that's out by the pool, or that's on a sailboat, or it's on an island or a mountain. Not for me. Give me an old, beat-up Ford pickup truck, one that's still got that bat wing vent window that you can blow the air on you, and a blacktop road out through some pine scrub. I'm a happy boy. This is called Blacktop Road. I love an old gray pickup on a blacktop road, where there's nothing borrowed, nothing old, where the pine trees whisper to a sundown breeze of the please the hungry soul inside of me, like a blacktop road. Now there's a cracker farmhouse up ahead. I wanna lay down in that big brass bed and just listen to the crickets and the tree frogs sing. Oh, we got blacktop road. Oh, there's so many more miles to be right, so many more songs to be sung down this blacktop road. Well, now I ain't been here since I don't know when, and I might not ever be here again. Whether you win or lose, there is no shame when your heart guides you in your changing lanes down this blacktop road. Down a blacktop road, you gotta take it slow. You gotta just let go. Down a blacktop road, down a blacktop road. Thank you. You're not hearing her vocal at all? He's got it. Oh, okay, he caught it. He caught it. He said, check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me take just a second to introduce the band. Barry Litchauer over here on my far right. Tenor, guitar, and banjo. My main man on guitar and mandolin, Ron Litchauer. On my far left, a tall drink of water there, playing bass, Lon Williamson. Here to my immediate left, the queen of Florida harmonies and Florida folk, Liz Williamson. We're in the process of putting out a new CD project for those of you that still have CD players. If you don't, I can know where you can get one that connects by Bluetooth. It's going to be called Blacktop Road. That last song will be the title cut. And there are some cards back on the table there on the right side, the table over on the right there, your left, that lets you sign up for my mailing list and also lets you indicate, yeah, I'd be interested in having that. It doesn't obligate you to buy it, but lets me know how many I might should order. Because these days, you know, we used to run 2,000 or 5,000 or something, but you don't do that anymore because some people can't play CDs. This will have download cards, download codes and things so that you can put it in your phone. So it's more than just a CD. So if you don't have a CD player, you still can get the album. But make sure you stop by and sign up for that. These guys all perform independent of me. When they're not out making me sound good, they have their own things they do. We get together as a Cracker Collective, as a Florida Cracker Collective, 3 or 4 times a year, but in the interim, they got their own stuff. And I think that we probably ought to share some of that. So, Liz and Lon, you want to give us a song? Yeah. Ooh.
That's the wrong one.
Check, check, check,
Check,
check.
check.
There it comes, there it comes.
That's Barry.
This is me right here. Check. You can pull this one down. I don't know what channel it's on. Is there a number?
Just tap
Nope.
it.
You got it. All right. On the vocal. The vocal mic needs to come way down.
Yeah, that's probably
This mic could, yeah, there you go.
You gone?
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Yeah, there
oh,
you go.
wait a minute, don't take me off.
We got Liz up.
Check, 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 check. How's that working for you? Check 1, 2. Can you guys hear that okay? Okay. Well, thank you, Doug. Doug Spears, our fearless leader. I just want wanted to say what a treat it was to hear Frank and Patty Sansone again. We've known them for so long. We met them, I don't know, man, 35 years ago? Okay, yeah, okay, way back. It's so wonderful to see them and hear them again and love the band, Wild and Blue. It's terrific. I just had a great time. And wanted to do this song about, that I wrote in honor of my mother. And we sang this last time we were here. And it's great to be back at the Sunday Sampler East. What a lovely place you all have here. Ready, darling? There's a bluebird in my heart. She's been with me quite a spell. Ever since the day we said goodbye. To the beating of her wings, my heart measures time. And only when she sings do I find a smile. And when she flies, my heart takes wing. When she cries, the tear she brings to those times, I have learned to cling. I just can't let her fly away from me. On the days when sad and blue, I find comfort in her too. Though my bluebird only sings of love gone by, like a sunbeam in the cell of her song, just one to tell, rings clear as a bell in the bluebird sky. And when she flies, my heart takes wing. When she cries, a tear to me she brings. To those times, I have learned to cling. How can I let her fly away from me? I don't wanna let her go. She's the only one I know who sees beyond what I let show and truly knows me. I wonder when these days are gone and I'm flying out there on my own. Can I catch the wind and carry on for those behind me? My bluebird only sings the song inside my heart. We're the only ones that know the tune. When she wants to be free, will I find within me? Then I can turn the key so we may part. 'Cause when she flies, my heart takes wing. When she cries, the tear she brings. To those times, I've learned to cling. Sky-colored wings teach me to fly. Free in the blue, by and by. Ron Litchauer, thank you all so much. Ron Williamson, Gary Litchauer.
I told you, she's the queen. I've often said I would listen to Liz sing the phone book if we still have phone books. I was in That doesn't sound right. I was in Black Mountain, North Carolina, one year for the Swananoa Gathering. Now, the Swananoa Gathering is a series of weeks of musical camps and classes and things where they're teaching songwriting and guitar techniques, fiddle and dance and all kinds of things. I was there for the songwriting week, and the guitar week was going on concurrently. And a wonderful musician, if you ever get a chance to see Vicki Ginfan. She lives in North Carolina now. At that time, she was up in the Northeast. But Vicki is a open tunings priestess. She plays in about 19 different open tunings during the course of one show and retunes by ear, which just pisses me off. That's just not right. But Vicki endeavored to teach me this open D tuning, which was a daunting task of its own. While we were there, Warren Wilson College, where this takes place, is a liberal arts college, but it focuses its mission on teaching sustainable, environmentally friendly agricultural techniques to a very wide international student body. Students come there from all over the world to take classes at Warren Wilson and to get a degree from there. While we were there, they were in the process of drilling 4 new hydroelectric wells up on the side of the mountain to supply all of their power and hot water and heat and make them virtually self-sustaining, really reduce their carbon footprint. Now, here in Florida, if you want to drill a well, you get 30 feet of PVC pipe in a garden hose, you're there. Mountains of North Carolina is a little different. They had derricks constructed and they're pounded down through the shale and the rock, trying to get down to that water. Now, we couldn't hear it in the buildings as they're pounding on that stone on the side of that mountain, but you could feel it. The walls would shake with it. Your seat would shake with it. The floor would shake with it. Your teeth would shake with it. And by the end of the week, I was going through a lot of aspirin. But it occurred to me while I'm learning this tuning and feeling that vibration, that what those derricks were doing to the side of that mountain, at that point, this is 20 years ago, life had been doing to me for nearly 50 years, trying to break down through all the crap I piled on top to get to the good stuff underneath. This is called Break Some Stones. Do I have guitar? Yeah, okay, good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's tears I've held inside me, tears I should have cried so long ago. And my heart grows so heavy when it's hardened by the things I won't let show. There's things around the edges of my memories that I Don't even try. You don't cry. So, the bad news about those songs is you have to put up with me retuning in the middle of the set. But I can usually keep jabbering and cover it up in between. Sometimes that messes me up, but we'll see. How about a round of applause for Mike McKee over here on sound? I know that we've had a couple of issues, but you have to kind of get in the mindset of he's trying to put a 5-piece band up here, get their sound set, then run them off the stage, get an entirely different 5-piece band up here, one with some jackass that's doing something on a wireless unit, and try to make it all work. And so that's a pretty daunting task, and Mike's doing a great job. This past year, we managed to make it through that window between June and December without one of them big, bad, twisty things coming through here and messing stuff up. Hurricanes have certainly changed. When I was a kid, we certainly had bad ones. I remember Donna well, and we had a number of them that were very, very serious. But a lot of time, us crackers just, unless it's Category 3, it's just peanuts and potato chips and beer. That's really what you thought of it. But these days, they're much more serious. They're bigger storms, and they're following different paths and doing different things. In 2004, I was living in Orlando. I can't explain why. I really can't. I spent 35 years there, and I don't know why. But we were X marks the spot. You guys know that here. We got hit by, first Charlie, then Gene, and then Francis, or reverse, just within 60 days. I mean, we were getting pounded. The next year, we held our breath as Katrina blew through the Gulf and slammed into the Gulf Coast. And I always make sure I say Gulf Coast and not New Orleans, because New Orleans got all the press, and they certainly got hammered, but it was the entire Gulf Coast that got hammered. Those folks were hurting from Florida to Texas. I watched that and thought, as a songwriter, I probably ought to write something about that. It's an inspiring event, and I tried. I had a couple ideas, but they just stunk. It just wasn't any good. So I put the idea aside, and then about a year later, I picked up a book that came out on the history of hurricanes in the U.S., and I learned that Katrina missed just 2 days of being exactly on the 70th anniversary of the most powerful hurricane to ever hit the North American continent. On Labor Day of 1935, there were between 400 and 600 World War I vets camped on what now is Isla Morada Key, back then was Upper and Lower Matacumbe Key, building the overseas highway next to Flagler's Railroad. Camped there in plywood shacks with tin roofs. And just after midnight on Labor Day, a storm came up out of the southeast, hit them with sustained winds. I'm not talking gusts, sustained winds in excess of 200 miles an hour. This is a place that is about that far above sea level. Storm surge was between 18 and 20 feet. Doesn't take a mathematician to know what happened here. Ernest Hemingway drank with these guys on the weekends, and he would come up, they would go down to Key West, and he would drink with them in the bars down there. He came up in his fishing boat to help survivors. All he found was bodies. Just like Katrina, He got mad, wrote a couple articles in Vanity Fair and the New Yorker, got an investigation started. And it really went great guns for about 2 months until something involving money came up and the whole thing was forgotten until 70 years later. We don't learn from history, and we should. Let's see, I ought to turn that on probably. Hemingway lived down in Old Key West, and he drank in the bars with Uncle Sam's best. And when he heard how they died, he flew off in a rage. His mighty men roared at how they'd been betrayed. Oh, his mighty men roared at how they'd been betrayed. It was Labor Day, 35. Pressure was falling on a rising tide. South by southeast, pregnant with no name. Remember now is Hemingway's hurricane. Remember now is Hemingway's hurricane. Now who left you there and who knows why? Old Papa demands with a fiery eye. Now was it careless or callous? No less to blame. And after 70, relive the shame. And remember Hemingway's hurricane. The boys that fought World War I. The hard times upon them, depression brought. New Deal jobs in the Florida Keys. A highway to build the overseas. Oh, a highway to build the overseas. Come on, send down that train, she's starting to blow. Too little, too late, oh, there's nowhere to go. Just shacks and shanties of plywood and tin. Our Lord, watch over the souls of these men. Our Lord, watch over the souls of these men. Now who left you there and who knows why? Oh, Papa demands with a fiery eye. Now was it careless or callous? No less to blame. And after 70, we get more of the same. And remember Hemingway's hurricane. Then in 2000 a little bit of a late start. We still got a lot of stuff on the list. Does anybody mind if we run a little late? If you got somewhere you got to be, we'll understand if you take off and leave. But we got about 15 minutes on the regular schedule, but we're only about halfway into our set list. But we're going to do enough to get maybe quarter after or so, if that's all right. Well, there's a vote of confidence. There's a great friend of ours that we miss dearly, Frank Thomas, who was one of Will McLean's friends and was also a great Florida songwriter. And he had a song that had particular meaning for me and my family. I'm a fifth-generation native from a cracker cattle background. And so Frank's song, Old Cracker Cowman, was one that my dad heard him play, that he just absolutely loved, and that people in general hear that song and they learn about a part of Florida culture that is all but dead. I mean, it's still out there, but it's you have to look for it these days. And I get Ron to play this because he and Barry were Frank's house band for, gosh, decades, or at least a decade.
Along with Stan Gebber.
Along with Stan Gebber in the back of the room back there.
Yeah.
This is Old Cracker Cowman.
Oh, you want to tell them why as part of the suite?
We play this as part of the Cracker Cowman suite because, well, I'll tell that when we get done with this. This is a paired
I should
song.
know better.
There's more to come. So
It's
there's more to the story.
It segues nicely into
Yeah.
Doug's next song.
This is the cow section of the show.
His beard may be stubbled like a cut over sugarcane field. His clothes may be tattered. The look in his eyes let you know he won't yield. He's from a breed that has died, but he has survived. The world he once knew is gone. He's an old cracker cowman, existed a long way from home. And dirt bikes scream over land that used to be scrubbed cows rails. Interstate highways have taken the place of old Mr. Flagler's rails. Condos rise from the land and space shuttles fly. And the old cracker cowmen don't know how it all passed him by. Old Bone Mizell, he's gone, but the legend lives on. Jake Summerlin and old Sam Keene, the beginning and ending of an era now gone. Men like Doc Norman somehow let the bottle get them down. These old Florida crackers, they're like eagles tied to the ground. Scream over land that used to be scrubbed cow trails. Interstate highways have taken the place of old Mr. Flagler's rails. Condos rise from the land and space shuttles fly. And the old cracker cowmen don't know how it all passed him by. No, the old cracker cowmen don't know how it all passed him
That song will be included on the new album paired with this next song. And the reason for that is, as I told you, I'm from a cattle family. On my dad's side, my grandfather was not born in Florida. He moved here from Georgia pre-Depression years and began to cobble together land and start to farm and farm cattle in Lake County outside of what is now Leesburg. He came up and became, I mean, the prototypical cracker cow man. I've worked cows with him and watched that man ride a quarter horse, a cutting horse all day long, never touched the reins once. Whip in one hand, rope in the other, working the cattle. And that whip was particularly important. It hangs in my study now, next to my dad's. My grandfather, if he needed to touch something, needed to get something's attention, he could reach out and touch you with it. If you weren't doing exactly what he wanted, he could remind you of who was in charge. My dad, of course, was raised in that environment. And the life of a cow family is not easy. That's hard, 365 days a year work. So Dad, Granddaddy, he didn't get past the third grade. He quit third grade and went to work. Basically traveled as a migrant fruit picker, really. And he wanted his kids to have that education. He never did. So he drove Dad pretty hard to do well. Dad got a couple of degrees from the University of Florida and then decided to go to vet school at Auburn because Florida didn't have a vet school back then. Goes to Auburn and comes back to Florida. I was born just before we went to vet school, so I went through vet school with him. And we came back to Florida, and he ended up buying into a small animal practice in St. Petersburg, Florida, and got away from the cracker cow life entirely. Now, he still, helped out with some vet chores here and there when he could back at the farm, but for the most part, he was out. And better for it. I mean, he was so glad to be out of that hard life. He practiced veterinary medicine for 30 years and apparently forgot because he sold the vet practice, moved my mom up to Marion County, just outside of Citra, and went back to farming cows. Took him about 2 months to remember, oh yeah, wait a minute. But it was too late then. So for the next 30 years, he farmed cows there in Citra. I am so grateful for so much that my parents, but my dad in particular, gave to me a work ethic and a sense of right and wrong that's just, you can't get that a lot of places these days. However, when he passed in 2019, there was one thing that I wasn't terribly grateful for, and that was 250 beef cattle that I was the oldest and only remaining son. I was in charge. So despite my promises my entire life, I would never be a cracker cow man, there I was. So for a little over 2 years, I worked those cows just like he had, and managed them and was able to parcel them up and sell them off and liquidate that over the course of 2 to 3 years and get out of the cow business. And I'm so happy because I want to make something really clear. There's nothing on God's green earth dumber and more aggravating than a cow. There just isn't. No matter what it is that you don't want them in, that's exactly where they'll be, and it won't happen at 2 in the afternoon. It'll happen at 2 in the morning, I promise you. I have met a lot of people that are very committed to animal rights issues. They're vegans. They think that farming our food and taking advantage of animals is wrong, and I respect that, and I understand I understand where that comes from. But I got to tell you something. If any of those folks would come work cows with me just for 2 weeks, I promise you, by Friday the second week, they're going to kill and eat something. That idyllic, the cows will just eat the grass and we can sell a calf every year and this will be easy money. This is what it's really like. This is called the cowman's way. 1, 2, 3, 4. yourself some grief, a cowman's grief. Now work don't wait for weather, these cows eat rain or shine. Barbed wire don't suffer fools, and the lightning loves tall pines. Bend those fences and fix the gates, make sure that the water flows. Oh, there's always something yet to do. What's next? Heaven knows. Heaven knows. Well, if you're looking for that simple life, no worries and carefree, let's get you some chicken, son. Save yourself some grief, a cowman's grief. Fella once knew a cowman, he decided to retire. He bought himself a rocking chair and just sat beside his fire. But he just could not rest easy, passing the idle days. All he missed the aggravation, the long hours and short pay. The cowman's way, oh, the cowman's way, oh, the cowman's way, the cowman's way, oh, the cowman's way. Thank you.
Check. I have a little announcement. Barry and I are going to have the gracious good luck of being able to play this same venue in a few months with our good friend Stan Geber. So we had a song scheduled to play right now, but because we're running a little late, I think it would be more contiguous if we just continued with Mr. Spears' material. So come back and hear us. I think it's in May. May the 6th, and thank you,
And
Tina.
Mike, while we have a moment, I'm hoping you could turn this guitar mic down just a little bit. I think it's a troublemaker. This
You
guitar
think that's
mic?
the squelcher?
Yeah. Just a little, I think that's what's causing.
You know, as
Yeah,
we
come down.
got it? Yep. Yep. We got it, Mike?
Mike, can you turn this guitar mic down a little bit? Yeah, okay, thank you. Oh, check.
Yeah. As we, I don't like saying I'm getting older. It offends me. It just offends me. I have taken to saying that I am getting more annually experienced. That seems a lot more dignified, probably qualifies me for a raise. So I'm sticking with that. As we get more annually experienced, we lose people. I mean, look at who we lost in 2025 in our own folk community here. We lost Marie Knopfsinger. We lost Gene Hewitt. We lost Kim Buchanan, Lorelei Walker. I mean, the list is virtually endless. They go on and on and on. And each year, there's more. All of us experience losses of friends, but, we've been experiencing it our whole lives. I knew two of my great-grandmothers, very close to my great-grandmothers on both sides of the family. Lost them, lost my grandparents, of course, lost uncles and aunts, lost my parents. My parents, when I was 10, they lost my youngest brother at 18 months old, and I watched what that did to them. I didn't know how they lived through that kind of a terrible, heartbreaking loss. And then, many years later, in 2007, my wife Judy and I lost our young son Tanner at age 17. And I learned firsthand that you don't get over those losses. You merely learn how to assimilate them and how to live with them because they don't leave you. I know everybody here has been through a loss of that kind that affects you so deeply. I don't know about you, but particularly when I went through it with Tanner, but in other circumstances too, the first thing that comes to my mind is, I wish I'd have said I love you one more time. Or that trip we kept talking about taking, doggone, I wish we'd have taken that trip. And that time that I acted like such a jerk when it really wasn't called for, I really wish I could take that back. It was always, I wish. Oh, I wish I could remember all the faces that I've seen, all the creases, lines, and wrinkles from the life lived in between. But you know I do remember every shade of your smile, a smile both joy and sadness, so hard to reconcile. Oh, I wish, oh, I wish, oh, I wish I could remember you right back into my life. And I wish I could remember all the voices that I've heard, voices singing from the heart, with strong and simple words. But you know I do remember the very textures of a laugh that echoes from your eyes now in treasured photographs. Oh, I wish, oh, I wish, oh, I wish I could remember you right back into my life. And now I'm living with the memory of all the time I thought we shared. I hope you know that I love you more than I ever thought I'd dare. And I wish I could remember all the tears I've cried, tears of joy and sorrow, tears that had no reason why. But you know I do remember the tears of your goodbye, the tears that stain my broken heart and never seem to dry. Oh, I wish, oh, I wish, oh, I wish I could remember you right back into my life. Oh, I wish, oh, I wish, oh, I wish I could remember you right back into my life. All right, we're going to do a couple more for you and then let you get back out into this beautiful, beautiful Florida weather. You know, I kind of like it cold, but I don't like the wind. I'm glad the wind is dying down. But it's been a beautiful day, and I thank you so much for all of y'all coming out. This has been a great pleasure. You know, depending on what you think of what Florida has become, whether you think that's good or bad, it's a matter of opinion. But regardless of whether you think it's good or bad, you certainly know where to place the credit or the blame, whichever it is, for what has happened here. Florida never would have become the tourist farming mecca of the world without one thing: the railroads. You know, this place was not an easy place to get into and get around in. And until they broke through and ran those rail lines through Florida, we were going to stay a swamp and an agrarian culture for forever until those guys came along. And of course, principal among those was Henry Flagler. His rail line he built all the way down the East Coast, from the very tip top there at the Georgia-Florida line all the way to Key West. And Henry, of course, gets a lot of credit. He's got a whole county named after him that I live in, and a city that I live in also, Flagler Beach. Probably some others that have that name, but roads and universities and museums and, man, everything's named Flagler. But you know, Henry deserves that credit or blame because it was his vision and his money and his courage to risk that money that made those railroads happen. But old Henry didn't swing no spike maul. He didn't tote any iron rails. He didn't lay any ties. In order for his dream to come true, he had to have teams of guys doing that. They worked in crews of 6 to 8 men. They were called gandy dancers. That term generally refers to the maintenance crews after the track was laid, but in truth it was both. It was they laid the track, gauged it, set where it was going to be, and then maintained that position of those rails over the course of the use of that line. Those guys here in the South were black and white crews. They were segregated. They worked in teams of 6 to 8, as I said, with a heavy iron bar to let them work in unison and use their weight using that iron bar to move those rails, ties, ballast, and everything into line and be maintained. Those crews, as I said, were segregated. The white crews worked together. The black crews did the same work, often more work, for exactly half the money. That was the rule. If white's got $1, black's got 50 cents. So hopefully we've gotten better than that. I think we've gotten a good bit better, but we're still not quite there. But with all the credit Henry gets, I kind of felt like those gandy dancers ought to have something. So this is called Gandy Dancer. He was just a gandy dancer, working Flagler's line, finding rails down from St. Augustine. Josh Wilson labored 40 years in the shadows of slash pines to lay the track that carried Richmond's dreams. Oh, he laid the track that carried Richmond's dreams. Josh earned the black man's wages with an iron bar in his hand. Lived his life to the rhythm of the dog and call. His sure feet never wandered beyond these Florida sands. His heart beat with the ring of his spike call. Oh, his heartbeat was the ring of his spike call. Watch Flagler roll, those candy dancers lining up his rail. He had to have those candy dancers lining up his rail. In a rusted boxcar by the tracks, Josh Wilson lived alone. Spanish monks and pine straw for a bed. From the time that he had 15 years, these tracks were all he known. He knew he worked the rails till he was dead. Josh Wilson worked the rails till he was dead. Still, when you hear that mighty whistle blow, it sends shivers up your spine, while the windows sweat and bloody cars just fade away like time. Men like old Josh Wilson, they just fade away like time. So here's to Henry Flacker and those dreams he dared to dream. And here's to those that made his dreams come. Men like old Josh Wilson, very near St. Augustine. Sure hope he found the peace that he was due. Sure hope he found the peace that he was due. Watch Wagner roll, watch him roll. Smoke curling up like a gray squirrel tail. But he couldn't roll, no he never rolled, without those candy dancers lining up his rail. Oh, he couldn't roll, no he never rolled, without those candy dancers lining up his rail. He had to have those candy dancers lining up his rail. Thank you. We're going to do one more to get y'all on the road. We do have some CDs back there of mine that a lot of these people are on those CDs too and had integral parts in getting them done. The CDs are $10 each. There's an honor box back there. Just drop your money in. But more importantly, there's the email sign-up list back there. You know, musician sign-up lists are very important. And whether you like the musician or not, you should get on them. And here's why. If you don't like them, you want to know where they're going to be so you can avoid it. So make sure you get on the mailing list, like or not. It's a good idea. And you can also indicate on there, if you like, whether or not you would like a copy of Blacktop Road when it comes out, and just drop that in the money hopper as well. There's also some coffee cups back there with the Florida Cracker Collective, one of our logos on it. Those are $15. Feel free to take one of those. They're in the boxes behind. There's a sample out front and then boxed up ones behind that. I have a warm weather. It's not summer, it's warm weather because it's late spring to really early fall home in north central West Virginia. And the way I found that There is a music room in Thomas, just 30 minutes north of me, called the Purple Fiddle. Back when I was touring and playing, that was an annual stop for me. After I came out of the Great Lakes, Ohio area, I'd drop down into West Virginia and go across and play the fiddle in Thomas. That's how I found this area that I've grown to love so much. Usually I would come through there in July, early August, when it was really hot back here and very, very comfortable there. But one year, for some reason, I don't remember what the cause was, I was very late on my tour route, and I didn't get to the fiddle until the middle of September. Now, by the middle of September in Thomas, the temperatures are dropping. It's getting like this, and that's just the start. 2 days ago, it was minus 27.4 there. Do you think you're cold? Well, I got there, and there was a guy that came to see me every year, standing out front, and as I'm loading in, he says, "Man, I sure am glad to see you, because I got to get out of here and get down to my winter digs in North Georgia, because it's going to be a cold and bitter, bitter winter." Now, I watch AccuWeather 6 and follow the news channels. Those guys never know what the hell they're talking about. So I asked him, I said, "Well, John, what makes you so sure that it's going to be a cold, bitter winter?" He said, "Well, you know, the hummingbirds left 2 weeks early." I didn't know they had a calendar, but they do. They've got a regular routine. If they vary that routine in a marked way, you better pay attention, because things are going to get different. They know what's coming. As it turned out, he was right. That was a bad winter. But you don't say something like that to a songwriter and not have it turn into something. So I wrote this, and I love singing this with Liz, because it makes her go to a high harmony that after the show she'll beat me up in the parking lot again, because it just curls her toes. But she can do it. You just listen. This is called When the Hummingbirds Return. Thank you so much for coming out. Feel the hard wind rolling down on Tucker Mountain. Feel the firewood that's been gathered, split and good to burn. Now this cold and bitter season just hastens on your leaving. I hope I'll see you when the hummingbirds return. Springtime lays so soft here on this valley. Gentle summer breezes seem to satisfy all your yearn. But when the river's edge is freezing, it puts you in a mind believing. I hope I'll see you when the hummingbird return. Oh, you're going where the sun warms love and lights chill and winters. Oh, where the changing of the seasons is no cause for concern. Oh, you're following to where the blooms are full of sweetest nectar. Such a simple lesson so much. Ron and Barry Lichauer,
Thank you.
Liz and Lon Williamson, thank you so much for being here.
And thanks to Tina and Mercy, everybody who helps to make this venue work. Thanks for supporting it, guys.